Hello, and thank you for coming to my presentation on Lifesong Church. My name is Shawnee Doyle, and I'm so excited to be able to tell you about my experience here. It was fantastic. In the corner, there's a little picture of the front of the building and some pictures from the congregation. A little bit about Lifesong. I found four folds of their passions, which are the foundation of who they are. They're very firm on their commitments, their dedication to culture, their dedication to worship, and their dedication to reaching the young. Their commitment to Christ is literally the center of everything that they do, as it states in their mission. It's literally their number one focus. If it wasn't for God to them, there wouldn't be anything to continue to work for. They're very accepting of all cultures. If you are God honoring, they are willing to take their shirts off their backs and stand up for what they believe are godly principles and what God perceives as what should be shamed and who should not be shamed. And at this church, they are a true believer that God is the only one that has that judgment, and that we are supposed to stand up for everyone and treat everybody the same with respect, dignity, and conduct our same moral code just as we would with anyone else. Their worship was fantastic. The pastor kept the conversation and discussion engaging. The congregation was interacting with the pastor. He would get them all hyped up and, make them feel the word of God. And it was very focused on how to be yourself and how God accepts you for you, and that you don't have to change anything about yourself in order for God to bless you. And one of their main missions that kind of stood out to me over other churches was that they really want to reach the young. They want to understand the young. They want to understand the young at heart. They want to be able to help kids express their love for God, no matter where they're from, whether it's due to cultural differences, if it's due to gender identity, if it's due to any type of needing help and guidance through life. Lifesong played an important role in stressing that they want to reach the young and understand the young. What made me want to explore this particular church? Lifesong is a place that I kind of heard a lot about in my community. My community is very small, and there's very little churches that will accept cultural differences / gender identity. A lot of the churches around me are very conservative, and they don't really address those needs. It's kind of strictly by the book. Whereas Lifesong stood out to me because people in the community were suggesting this place and suggesting how warm and inviting everybody was, and how they were just accepting of all cultures, including bikers and the LGBT community. What did I hope to gain from exploring this place was that I was hoping to understand their importance of and ability to gather so many people from different cultures in one area to worship one thing and to just truly understand each other. I thought that was very warm and welcoming, and I was hoping to gain the experience of understanding the foundation of the church and what they really stood for, and what their mission was to help the LGBT community. In my area, there weren't a lot of places of worship, like I have said, that accept backgrounds of different cultures and different thoughts and beliefs, such as gender identity. I'm from a very rural area, so like I said, it was very hard to not hear about Lifesong as they are accepting, because they are a very different type of church or place of worship. Lifesong and social justice. Social justice is the view that everyone deserves equal economic, political, and social rights and opportunities, according to the San Diego Foundation. Lifesong, like I had already stated, accepts those from all backgrounds. This includes bikers, children, the LGBT community. They stand up for the rights that they believe God would want, and God would want everybody to be treated the same and form no judgment upon them or anyone else, that no one holds the key to judge anybody else other than God, that on Judgment Day God would be there to make that judgment, that it was not up to us. Our job was to be accepting and nurturing and guide those with differences than ours. The SAGE competencies in counseling and Lifesong. Lifesong provides a lot of support groups for those in the LGBT community, and they provide other information on how to accept and be accommodating to gender choice. Although they did not post this all over their website, it is clearly stated and welcoming to anyone without discrimination, including those of the LGBT community. Lifesong addresses all the following of the SAGE competencies. Human growth and development. They witness change and how gender might not be just a biological factor, but rather emotional and physical and mentally associated, rather just as plain history had said that it was science, biological. Social cultures and foundations. They're very accepting of all cultures. They bring in pastors from other places. They bring people in to speak on topics that they find important or need more support, such as abortion, the LGBT community. They do a lot of group work. They have a lot of groups that they have for men, women, LGBTQ, youth. They have very, very nice areas of welcoming groups that can help you in a lot of different areas of your life. Professional orientation and ethical practice. Like I said, they're very accepting and accommodating to all cultures. They're very professional about it as well. They may state their differences, but it's a difference where they are willing to express it and work with the person and compromise and be accepting no matter who walks in or who comes into your life, that you are never the one to judge, that God will judge you on Judgment Day. It was very nice. They were very ethical and supportive of all cultures. They're very supportive of career and lifestyle development. Like I said, they're very accepting of all cultures. If you were a biker, like, come on in, come in your motorcycle gear. If you're LGBTQ, come in, we're accepting, we love you. We don't think that judgment is upon you. They were very welcoming at the beginning of their sermon and making sure that they knew that everybody is felt welcoming. I also noticed, being new there, a lot of people said hello and were very welcoming and inviting and just kind of wanted to know a little bit about me and my family. My personal feelings and comfort level in this experience. When walking into Lifesong, there were lots of people around. Everyone greeted everyone and welcomed any faces they did not recognize. Like I had stated, the pastor was very compassionate and stressed the importance of accepting people for who they are. The pastor's sermon was engaging and the congregation was responding with praise and worship to the pastor and the words he was speaking. Overall, the experience was positive and made me feel very comfortable, and knowing that I could be myself without judgment. Overall, this church is a church I would refer to any of my clients, knowing that they would feel welcomed and treated with dignity and respect, and the same as anyone else. Counselors can become more knowledgeable about this community, is that it's a rural area and it's in a very conservative environment, but there are resources out there that go above and beyond to make everyone feel welcomed and accepted. Just because a place of worship doesn't mean that they won't accept you beyond their foundational beliefs for equality. Identify 3 strategies for increasing my culture confidence with the LGBTQ community. My first one would be reviewing policies. Sorry about that. For the LGBT plus inclusion. According to Broad 2021, LGBTQ inclusion is so important for making sure everyone feels safe and comfortable in being their whole selves to work. By going over the policies and learning positive ways to include the LGBT community to create a more unified, safe environment for those to express themselves in whichever way they choose to do so. So basically, like reading those policies is going to help me understand and how to include them and how to accommodate their needs. I also want to incorporate gender-neutral language. I think this is very important because, as the United Nations stated, given the key role of language in shaping culture and social attitudes, using gender-inclusive language is a powerful way to promote gender equality and eradicate bias. Using gender-neutral language is something that I am not used to or familiar with, but I think it's very important to learn more about it and to learn how to address people that you may not know or you might not understand, such as the she, her, he, him, they, them, her, him, they, them, she, her, or any of the cisgender, transgender. Those are all some new terms that I am not so familiar with, so I think learning that language would be very helpful in creating a relationship and rapport with my clients. I think attending trainings on the LGBT community is very important as well. According to the SAMHSA, the training will help therapists assess, treat, and refer those of the LGBT community in a culturally sensitive manner. This is essential in order to provide the effective treatment to those of the LGBT community and how they will implement practices we may not understand to eliminate bias. I think this is very important, is learning to eliminate that bias that we have, those stereotypes that are all natural, but we need to be, as counselors, culturally aware of these things and sensitive to the differences in other people and how we react to those things and how those differences may play a role in how their treatment affects them. Thank you for watching my presentation. I greatly appreciate all of you coming in and spending the time to watch it. I hope you learned something fun and exciting.